So welcome to our Essential Oils 101 class, or what we like to call Natural Solutions with doTERRA. If you don't already have it, I highly recommend you download doTERRA's Live Guide. I'll throw it in the chat one more time if you guys need it. And you can take a look at that Live Guide. We'll be going through the Live Guide as we kind of go through this class. So my slides are going to be supplemental information from that Live Guide. So really good product there. I always like to start with a question. In your home, what do you want less of? You're like, okay, I want less of this, whether it's sleep issues, pain and inflammation, respiratory issues. I have found asking this class, or asking the classes that I teach this to, the number one tends to be sleep issues. I want to be able to have a full night's sleep all through the night. I've had a few people that have little kids like me. I have a 6-month-old son. I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. So sleep in my house is fun if we can find it. But there is some amazing things that have been really helpful for us in that area. So just kind of keep that in mind. What are the areas that I want the most help in? I want less of this in my home. The way we look at it when we do doTERRA is we're looking at it from a natural approach. I worked in healthcare for 7 years before I switched to cybersecurity, before I even started this business. So I've got pushing 20 years of experience before I decided this is what I love doing. With that, though, in that modern approach, we're very much treating the symptoms. Oh, you've got pain in your knee? Take some ibuprofen. In fact, when I was in college, I was playing indoor soccer and I was running left and I quickly turned around to go the other way. And I actually took my knee and just bent it sideways. Swelled up like a big old softball. It was incredibly painful. I was a broke college student. I didn't have insurance. I learned to just take ibuprofen like it was nothing. And I struggled with that pretty much for years. And my wife said I took ibuprofen like M&Ms. And if you've studied how bad that is on your body and how hard that is on your system, you're like, oh, this is really, really bad. Whereas the natural approach, we're looking to treat the root cause, not the symptom. We want to find out, okay, what happened and how do we help that heal? So with that, we're going to use what's extracted from plants, which is going to be our essential oils, and they're going to help enhance the wellness lifestyle and help benefit you in your areas. What's beautiful about the essential oils, there is no side effects. You watch a commercial for like acetaminophen, and then they, for like a minute and a half, all about all the bad things that could happen as side effects. I have none of that in this video. I do talk fast, but not like that. And so we're going to go into a little bit on what these are and how they can benefit us with that natural approach. Now, a lot of people are always like, hey, we can treat a symptom, right? You can take something like if I drink caffeinated coffee in the morning and I get that buzz and I'm good to go, but then I crash. Whereas when I take Mito 2 Max, I have energy sustainable throughout the day, which is absolutely amazing. So why do we use doTERRA? My wife came to me about 4 or 5 years ago now, and she's like, hey, I want to try these essential oils. And I was super skeptical. I am so not going to lie. She came to me and she started mixing these oils and mixing this stuff. And I said, okay, I draw the line at if you get a cauldron out and start doing incantations. I said, none of that. I'm drawing the line there. So we tried a few oils. My knee, remember the knee I talked about? I was laying on the floor once after a run for the military because they make us run on the streets, and my knee would swell every time they did that. And she's like, I got an oil for that. And I was like, really? You got an oil that's going to help my knee? And the way she describes it, she said, I was in too much pain to resist. I couldn't leave. And she came and she actually took some essential oil, put some fractionated coconut oil to dilute it, and rubbed it into my knee. It was incredibly painful. But I woke up the next morning, no swelling and no pain. Also, my knee has never swollen like that since. I was completely shocked. I was like, oh, there's something to this weird hocus pocus that you're into. So I started to allow her to use it. Well, we tried a couple of different essential oil companies, and some were like, great, this bottle was awesome. But then we got another bottle, and when we got another bottle from them, it wasn't as good. It wasn't as potent. It wasn't as powerful. And so we noticed that we need a company that was not only solid in the first bottle that we get, but in the second bottle. Well, when we started to research doTERRA, doTERRA does CPTG testing, certified pure tested grade testing at the batch when it comes from the farmer, and again at the bottle individually. So every bottle of oil has been tested to be pure for that particular substance. For example, lavender. So if I use lavender to help my daughter sleep at night and I put 3 drops in her diffuser, I know that 3 drops will always work every night because it has the same potency and efficacy. This is why we chose to use doTERRA. They're safe, they're affordable, and they're effective. And we'll talk about how to make things really affordable down the road. So here's where you got your Live Guide. I'm pulling that out. we're going to talk about on page 3, you'll see what we call the wellness pyramid. The wellness pyramid is our lifestyle choices that we make. It starts with nutrition and digestion, movement, metabolism, rest and manage stress. I like to call that rest and de-stress, right? Reduce toxicity, informed self-care, and then proactive medical care. Now that proactive medical care, right? If I break my arm, I'm not going to, hey, I got an oil for that. No, there's no oil for that. You need to go see a physician and get that taken care of, right? But when my daughter's got an ear infection, I have stuff in my medicine cabinet at home that I can use to help treat that and avoid that $135 ER bill because I didn't have anything in my home to help with that. So we'll talk about that all in a minute, Live It. So let's start with this. On page 3, I want you to take a minute of your Live Guide and do a quick assessment. The same image is here on my screen. In each of these areas, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate yourself. You don't have to share your scores with anybody. We're going to use this later. So you don't have to show anybody your scores, but I want you to take a minute and talk about, okay, 10 is the best. 10 is like, I got this. I'm rocking it. Like nutrition and digestion. If you're like, oh, I don't need any help, I'm good, I'm solid in this area, I'd give myself a 10. I'll be honest, I'm not a 10 in any of these categories. I can always use help in one of them. A 1 or 2 would be like, yeah, I don't even do this category. I really could use some help and motivation to get me going in this area or something to enhance what I've got going already. That's a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. So take a minute, rate yourself on these, and we'll get going on to the next slide. So we're going to talk about what creates disease in the body. Now, disease in the body is usually caused by 3 things. 1, nutrition deficiency. 2, inflammation. And 3, toxic overload. Nutrition deficiency, we're not eating healthy. And even if we are, the same cup of spinach that my grandmother or my great-grandmother used to have does not have the same nutritional value as it does today. The nutrition, especially in the United States, in our standard American diets is going down. By the way, that stands for SAD. That's not a joke. That's literally what that stands for. Second is inflammation. How much inflammation do we have in our body? The sugar that we eat increases our inflammation. Our lack of movement and exercise increases our inflammation. Nutrition deficiency also allows our body to have more inflammation. And then toxic overload. Every day we're encountering plastics, we're encountering cleaners. I worked in sterile processing for about 1.5 years. I love things super clean. I have 3 kids. My house is never clean, but I love it clean. I used to love bleach and Lysol, but you have to be careful. I can't have these things around my kid. I use an oven cleaner. I had to get rid of all of that because it's like, it's bad for my kids. But I was like, well, what can I do? I'm going to show you some options that are natural, safe for kiddos, which is absolutely amazing. All right, moving on. Talking about nutrition deficiency. Nutrition deficiency, and I actually have a little cheat sheet here for this little slide. So for nutrition deficiency in most adults in the United States, is where this chart comes from, are below their estimated average requirement by these percentages. So most people, about a little over 50% of us, get the vitamin C that we need. Very few of us get the vitamin D, E, and magnesium that we need. And I was kind of shocked when I was pulling up these studies. The second thing too, a study from the FDA, I actually put my little link here for my source for this for Harvard, in 2007 to 2016, detected contaminants in 776 dietary supplements across 146 different companies. 3 of the leading memory supplements, like for fish oils for your brain and stuff, found that 2 of them didn't even actually contain the active ingredient. They found that people were false advertising and that stuff wasn't consistent. So you'll have companies that will add all kinds of synthetics, which is why you'll have differences. So what I tell people, especially in essential oils, I say, go try them. I am so confident in the product that dōTERRA has, and I have tried several other brands. I tell people, go try other brands, smell them, compare them. You will find the difference, that the purity and the efficacy with dōTERRA is unparalleled. Just absolutely shocking. So with that in mind, I personally take dōTERRA's lifelong vitality supplements. There's actually a great video, and I don't have time just due to the length of this class, but from Dr. Axe, where he actually goes through and talks about LLV and all the different values of it. But in a nutshell, there's three different supplements in here. You have E-omegas. Those are going to energize your brain. This is your fish oil. These are the things that are going to help you have clarity throughout your day. You have Microplex VMZs. This is your food supplement. What's really cool about these are actually made from whole food ingredients that are bioavailable, so your body knows how to use it. If you read the back of the bottle, it literally says stuff like broccoli. Like, it's not synthetic. This actually was just pulled from broccoli. This is where this stuff came from. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. The one that I love the most, though, is the Alpha CRS. Alpha CRS was specifically designed to energize your cells. This is going to give your cells energy to fight that inflammation, to actually go in and be able to heal on that level, as well as give them the energy that they need to be able to do the job and the function that they're performed. Taking LLV, when I started taking it, I tell you what, for some people, they started taking it 3 days later, they noticed a massive difference. For some people, they started taking it, it was 10 days. For me, it was about 7 days. I noticed a huge difference in the fact that I had more energy throughout my day. I also had a clearer thought process all the way from the beginning to the end. Now, I am a incident response manager. It's my day job that still pays the bills. This job is working with dōTERRA is quickly going to take over. I have a master's degree in cybersecurity. I am an incident response manager for all of Motorola cybersecurity products across internationally. So I work things from Australia to Thailand to Canada. And like, so this Sunday, I got in and I had to work Sunday night into Monday. We had a whole incident that occurred all the way into Tuesday. I've been taking these. I had no brain fog the entire time. I was able to handle it, be able to analyze and go from there. And dōTERRA is actually doing really, really well. So I will actually end up quitting my day job eventually, which is pretty cool to be able to do this full time. So the second thing is the microbiome. This is what we call our PB Assist and our PB Restore. The PB Restore, there's a huge class on this. I highly recommend taking it. It's completely free. You're like, oh, I just want to learn more? Right there. Scan that QR code, take a quick screenshot of it, and you can go in. But in a nutshell, you have your 4 Ps of probiome. You have your prebiotics, your probiotics, your postbiotics, and your phages. Your prebiotics are food for your postbiotics. Now, most people know about probiotics is your food for your probiotics. Most people know about your probiotics. They're found in yogurt and different things of that nature. And your body's probiome, after about 30 days, I think flushes all the way through. So you have to constantly be feeding it, constantly giving it that. Your postbiotics are what's made by your probiotics. These are things like your body's ability to communicate from your stomach to your brain or create the chemicals and hormones in your body like norepinephrine and dopamine. So your probiome affects everything in your body, from your brain to your stomach to your reproductive system to your lymphatic system. So talking about taking care of your probiome isn't just about having a good, healthy gut. It's about having a good, healthy body. This has been absolutely amazing and revolutionary. The PB Restore contains all 4 of these. The phages, by the way, go in and kill the bad bacteria that's taking up residence where the probiotics need to take residence within your digestive tract. And most probiotics are dissolved by stomach acid. They actually die when they encounter stomach acid. So when you eat something that has probiotics in it, it's not a guarantee that it'll make it all the way to your stomach. Well, dōTERRA saw this and patented and designed a 2-tiered capsule. These capsules are 2-tiered. There's a clear one, and then there's a little green one inside of it. When you take the soft gel, the little green one contains your probiotics. That actually makes it all the way to your stomach is where it's dissolved because it's specifically designed to resist that stomach acid. So you're guaranteed to get what you need. It was actually really amazing when they released this product. It's on page 5 of your Live Guide. They had this whole video of people that got an opportunity to try it for 30 days. And the number one thing that stood out to me, which I thought was hilarious, was hormone balancing. Husbands were like, yeah, when my wife started taking that with that, time of the month, it was way smoother. Her emotions are way better. So I was like, that's hilarious. Something that was designed to help if your digestive tract has been affecting all over the place. Well, then you think about, okay, well, I can take this, but what about my kids, right? What's safe for my kids? PB Assist Plus is safe for the entire family. It comes in a little sachet. You literally tear it open and you take it like a pixie stick. You can pour it on yogurt or cereal or something like that. My kids love it like a pixie stick. It tastes really, really good. I'll be honest, I take them as well. These ones are also designed. These contain the prebiotics and the postbiotics though to help with that. But anyway, I can't go too deep, but there's a huge training on that if you guys are interested in learning more. So let's talk about metabolic health, right? So that was nutrition and digestion. We're going to move into movement metabolism now, that second tier. 6.8% of the United States population have optimal cardiac health. That is pretty low and perfect testimony. I'm in pretty good health. My grandfather, my father's father, had heart surgery when he was in his 50s. My dad, not too long ago, a couple of years ago, who was in his 50s, had heart surgery, double bypass, open heart surgery. They split open his sternum and went in and fixed stuff because my family suffers from a thing called French fries. We just do. It's the truth. Well, I am in my 30s and I do not want heart surgery. I'm like, nope. I actually go in and I get my heart checked. And I was like, doc, tell me what I need to do. I don't want heart surgery here. And so when I started learning about my metabolic health, that really helps my body fight off those fatty, the good Lord, those helping my fat cells store fat. Anyway, we'll get into that. Moving on. All right, quick pop quiz. Pull up your chat or unmute, either one. I'm cool with that. I want you guys to take a guess here. What is the percentage increase in diabetes cases since 1960? So that could be 10%, 20%, 50%. How many cases in today, 2020, well, I think these stats were pulled in 2020, but 2022, 35%, all right, 35%,
50%.
50%. I'm going to blow your mind. You ready? It is 700%.
Oh,
Shocking. Absolutely shocking the amount of people that have been diagnosed with diabetes or pre-diabetic. On a huge part of it is because everything you see on my slide, right? We love this stuff. It's American food. Only in America can you have French toast, Canadian bacon, and Belgian waffles and call it a traditional American breakfast, right? We love our sugar. How long do you think for us to take, or sorry, let me read my question. How long does it take the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors did about 200 years ago?
1 week.
Ooh, very close. It's 2 weeks. We consume the same amount of sugar intake that took someone a year in 2 weeks. That is insane. That blows my mind. So we have diabetes. We have heart problems. Is there a solution to help us be able to have healthier lifestyles? Yes. Now, taking these products, are they going to be like, oh, I take these products, so now I don't have to worry about my diet? No, they're enhancements to a good, healthy lifestyle. So got to keep that in mind. I would like to introduce you to the metabolic system. This is actually a series of products here. MetaPower is what we call it. MetaPower stands for Metabolic Personal Wellness Realized. It's on your Live Guide, page 8 and 9. If you're following along in the Live Guide, you'll notice I skipped page 7, and that's okay. I will come back to it, I promise. It's actually my last slide. I'll go back to page 7. But on page 8 and 9, let's break down these products a little bit. You have the MetaPower Blend. This comes in several different ways. It comes in beadlets. It comes in an oil. So you can take the beadlets orally, or you can take the oil and drink it, or even diffuse it. Or my wife actually likes to use it and rub it on her skin. You can take the soft gels, which is, but anyway, on page 8 and 9, we're talking about MetaPower. They also have gum. What's really cool about this, my mother tried this. I talked my mom and my dad into trying this for 30 days. And my mom is a snackaholic. I mean, the only help she needs is hand her more candy corn. I mean, she is a snackaholic. She really is. Well, I gave her this and I said, hey, this stuff helps curb your cravings. And so I gave her some of the gum, I gave her some of the beadlets, and she was sitting there and she was actively eating candy, working on her computer. And then she's like, oh, wait, I have this MetaPower beadlet stuff. I'm going to go try it. So she took a couple beadlets, she threw them in, she swallowed them, and she waited just a few minutes and kept working. The bowl of candy never left the desk. This is how she tells the story. And she's like, my craving just died. I didn't touch the candy at all for the rest of the day. It just died right where it was. I was like, that is incredible. They did some studies too with the oil on Petri dishes where they took adipose tissue that was full of fats in the fatty cells, and they started treating it with the metabolic blend. And they watched over the course of, I think it was about a week and a half, that the fat cells actually decreased the amount of fat that they had in them. And what caused that is the way MetaPower is designed using the essential oils, it tells your body stop storing fat. So it literally tells it, it's like, so you eat your carbs and that you basically use or lose instead of use and store. And then the MetaPower will say, hold up, don't store that, just pass it on. We don't need to keep that much fat in our body. It is absolutely incredible. So I want to talk a little bit back on that sugar. We bought a brand new Toyota Sienna once, by the way. And then we got in a car accident. We don't have it anymore. But when we bought it, we were talking to the guy who was getting us all set up, and he was telling the story about the thing that they were dealing with. There was a brand new Toyota Corolla that was purchased by some parents for their son. So teenage son, brand new car. The transmission was completely blown and it was a month old. I mean, this thing was brand new. And so we're like, what happened? And they said, well, we ran a diagnostic on the system and they can track your RPMs, and the computers now in your cars track all this stuff. They found out that every time this guy hit a red light, he slammed on his brakes, and as soon as it turns green, he floored it. This car literally had max RPMs every time it took off. And I was like, oh, that's so bad for your car. In a month, it blew the transmission. So they were fighting with insurance because it was still covered bumper to bumper, but they were like, dude, you're going to drive a car like this. This is on you. But think about how we do that with our body. When we eat sugar and we have those carbs, or we have our traditional American breakfast with our sad standard American diet, right? What does it do to our sugar levels? It spikes them, and then it drops them, and it spikes them, and it drops them. Imagine, just like it did to the car, what that does to us. They actually have linked sugar problems to premature aging. I would like to introduce you to MetaPower Assist. My dad got diagnosed with pre-diabetes as part of his heart surgery thing and stuff like that. He started taking the gum, Which, by the way, he found out the gum, he loves to chew gum. He really does. The gum is the only gum he's ever taken that didn't spike his blood sugar because there's nothing sweet in it. There's no sweeteners, nothing like that. The metabolic assist, what we call our MetaPower Assist, this is specifically engineered and designed to help your body level off those spikes. And the way it does this is when you eat your carbs, you eat your breakfast, you eat all that good stuff, the MetaPower Assist basically goes up and says, hold on, slow it down. You can absorb this, but you have to do it slower. So your body still absorbs the sugar, but it makes it last longer, and thus keeping your body from spiking it high and dropping it low. And this has been absolutely revolutionary. Now, they did a test. What you see on the left side of my screen here was a test that dōTERRA actually did. They did 2 results. They had people, I want to say it was over the course of like 14 days. They had people get a blood sugar monitor so they could monitor it 24/7. And they were monitoring people's sugars. Now, note, these were with non-diabetic people. And so they had an average across them, I think it was 14, 15 people, of about 101. Their blood sugar kind of averaged out. And you can see in the little chart how much they spiked and how much they dropped depending on meals and things of that nature. Well, they started taking the assist, same group of people, they started taking it and did the same test. Nothing changed. They still all worked out the same, ate the same food, nothing changed in that nature. They just added the assist. And it dropped their glucose levels and leveled out their highs and their lows by 11%. There was a lady, shout out to her, Tina Womble. She actually shared her story and she gave us permission to share it. But she was a type 1 diabetic. She started taking the MetaPower system. And you can see here, her insulin units had gone from 48 to 30. Her glucose levels dropped from 146 to 108. She actually normalized. She got out of that pre-diabetic range completely. So not only did she take her sugars completely lower, she got way back to normal. And then she's at 98% of her targeted range. She lost 8 pounds and 3 inches off her tummy. She's sleeping better, making better food choices. I mean, this system helped revolutionize her life. And this is just one of many stories. This is one that I got permission to share. This is one of my favorite products, though. This is incredible. Everyone's heard you need collagen in your life. It's good for your fingernails, your hair, and all that good stuff, right? Oh, we've heard it. And you can go to the supermarket, Costco, and you see collagen everywhere. Well, MetaPower Advantage, which is what it's called, is exactly that. It's collagen and NMN. NMN, I'm not going to go into detail. I have a whole class if you guys want to see it. Basically, it's energy for your cells. It gives your cells the energy that they need to do what they need to do for their jobs. So this is going to help not only give you the collagen that you need, it's also going to give your cells the energy that they need. Well, they went all out. dōTERRA went all out and they loaded this thing. This is full of, you got marine collagen that's sustainably sourced and easily bioavailable. Unlike bovine collagen, which just comes from like the horns of cows and their feet and stuff like that your body has a hard time digesting that. The marine collagen, way, way better for your body. And they threw in a whole bunch of other stuff here. And I could literally teach a whole class on just MetaPower. Like, it is an insane product. I take it for the inflammation in my knee. My dad started taking it. So actually, I'll wait for that. Anyway, these are all the products that are in it. Shout out to Amy Fulmer. She actually made this slide for me. And they went out and they actually looked at all of the different bottles that you would have to buy to get all of those ingredients. It's about $360. And MetaPower Collagen for wholesale, which I can show you how to get that today, is $84.50. I can show you also how today to get it even cheaper, which I'll show that at the end of this class here. So a couple of success stories here. A lot of people started taking this, and there's literally, I have so many photos that we could share from people all around the world that started taking it. But I like to share my dad's story because that one was most important to me. When this first came out about a year ago, I bought a 30-day supply for myself and a 30-day supply for my dad. And I said, Dad, let's take this together and see how it goes. Well, on top of his heart surgery and his pre-diabetes, he got diagnosed. He got diagnosed. Forgive me, English is my first language. He got diagnosed with arthritis in his back. And literally, like, he would bend over super slow. It'd be super painful just to reach over and pick something up. And I was like, hey, let's try this. The doc basically said, yeah, you should just take ibuprofen for the rest of your life. They literally gave him a pain subscription is what they gave him. They're like, here you go. You're going to take pain meds for the rest of your life. Well, I said, hey, why don't we try MetaPower? Why don't we give it a try, this collagen stuff? He started taking it. At about day 14, we went over to his house and we're visiting with my mom and my dad. My mom's sitting on the couch and my dad's standing up. My 9-year-old son, he was 8 at the time, he was hanging on his arm. Like, my dad's holding him in his hand and he's swinging him like this, twisting in his back. And he goes, son, this MetaPower stuff, I don't think it's working. My mom started laughing so hard from the couch. She's like, no, honey, it's working. It is helping. Later that day, he's laying on the ground, holding at the time my 3-year-old daughter and like swinging her like an airplane, laying on his back, things that he possibly couldn't do. It literally revolutionized his life and his basically standard of living that he had with his grandkids. And now he's doing really good. You should see him running the aisles at church. It's fantastic. So a lot of these people, anyway, just great stories here about people's faces changes, a lot of the differences in their knees and their skin. There's one lady who actually, when she works with doTERRA, she just does MetaPower. She doesn't sell anything else. She doesn't talk about anything else. I think there's so many amazing products that I try to talk about everything that's in the Live Guide, but she just does that. All right, quick time check. We're at 3:34. I've had 30 minutes and I've gone through 2 things. I know I'm talking fast, but there's a lot to cover. There is no way in about 45-minute span to be able to cover everything possible in that doTERRA has to offer. But what I can do is set you up for success to get started, as well as give you access to me, my team, so you can ask questions as going forward. But let's talk about my favorite subject, rest and manage stress. So who wants better sleep? Everyone in the class goes, yay, me, but you're all muted. So everyone wants better sleep. I want to sleep deeper. I don't want to wake up groggy. I don't want to have to take something that's going to make me groggy. I don't want any of that. I'd like to introduce you to the Serenity Sleep System. Serenity is a proprietary blend made by doTERRA, which is the primary ingredient's lavender in it, and it's designed to help you get a good night's sleep. It comes in 3 ways: the oil, which you can take topically, aromatically, or you have the stick, the valerian stick. This is really cool. This stick can be used on little kiddos. I have a 6-month-old, a 4-year-old, and I have a 9-year-old. At night, I do an aroma touch. I love the hand. I do an aroma touch with my kids, which is a technique that we teach. And I rub this on my baby's feet. I rub this on my daughter's neck. I put a little bit of the drops of Serenity on their back, and I do a little massage. I kid you not. 5 minutes later, the house is quiet. I love it. It's like, oh my gosh, it helps them get sleep. Now, they also make the dietary supplements, those soft gels. I take 1 or 2 of those at night. And what's beautiful about that, Nugget, which is our 6-month-old, we call him Little Nugget, is Nate. He doesn't sleep through the night, obviously, and he still wakes up a lot. Well, when I take the Serenity, it doesn't make me groggy or make it difficult for me to wake up and help with him in the middle of the night. And what it does is it helps me get a better sleep. For example, he woke us up at about midnight, fought with us, and then I got up again around 6, right? So real short night. Some nights are greater than others. This action night was a pretty decent night. And I took Serenity. I'm good to rock and roll. I'm solid. I feel like the best way I can describe it is when I take Serenity, I get more REM cycles. I get deeper sleep, even if I get little sleep. So revolutionary thing. There was a mom that she said she was really struggling with her kid and she couldn't get her to sleep. It was a fight. She said it was a fight to get her kids to sleep. And we sent her a little sample of this and said, give her about 3 days supply. She called us after 3 days and she's like, I need this. First night, I put it on her, put a little on her feet, little on her chest. Like 5 minutes later, she's passed out. No fight, little fussing, just ready to rock and roll. She's like, I love this stuff. It was like, it literally was revolutionary for her. So we want to talk about mood support and emotional support. Obviously, we talked about Serenity. That's great. It's calming. It's peaceful. You can use it also if your kids are like freaking out and just like having one of those, what I call teenager temper tantrums from the 3-year-old, right? You can use that. There's also adaptive and balance. Real quick on both of these. Adaptive is anti-fight or flight. So you think, I'm going into a stressful situation, your heart rate starts going, your neuroepinephrine kicks in, you vasodilate, and your fight or flight kicks in. Adaptive is literally to help you, quote, adapt to your environment, but it helps pull you out of fight or flight. I will take either adaptive soft gels or I'll put a little adaptive oil on the back of my neck before I go into Denver traffic. For those of you that drive in Denver traffic, know what I'm talking about. It's, anyway, very stressful. It introduces in feelings in me that I don't want to talk about. We're going to move on. My wife says I have road rage. I'm pretty sure I do. Well, then we have balance. Now, balance is not like adaptive. It's different in the fact that balance is designed to help you ground your emotions. So when my wife was pregnant with our son, who's 6 months old, she, of course, has, hormones, just a few. And with the first couple pregnancies, those were fun. I got my head bit off a lot. I probably deserved it. And with this one, she was putting balance just on the bottom of her feet every morning before she got going for her day. Well, honestly, her hormones were like incredibly solid. It was kind of freaking me out. Well, one day she bit my head off. Oh my gosh. I totally deserved it. I guarantee it. I deserved it. But I looked at her and I was like, what was that for? And it hit her. She goes, oh, I forgot to take my balance. I mean, the night and day difference that oil made for just helping her balance out her emotions was incredible. I have a couple of classes on immune support, specifically On Guard. You have tea tree. I had an experience with my wife. This was before we were married, and we were in Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh, and we were going down this river in the canal, and we in these wooden canoes, and they say don't hold on to the side of the canoe because as the canoes go by, they grind each other. Well, I get into the canoe. I'm like just getting off the dock, get into the canoe. Of course, it tips. I grab the side, and a boat comes by. You can see where this story is going. I lost quite a bit of my nail. Thankfully, it actually fractured because it was all bleeding out. And we're in third world country, Ho Chi Minh Canal with brown water, alligators, all that good stuff, or crocodiles. I don't know, staph infection. You never know. My wife had tea tree. She put it on my finger. I got no infection. I was able to bandage it up. I was good to rock and roll. My nail grew completely back. I was just like, wow, what an antibiotic right there. And then you have On Guard. On Guard is amazing. It boosts your immunity. That's what it's designed to do. They have it in beadlets. They have it in hand sanitizer. They have it in hand soap and things of that nature. On Guard has been absolutely revolutionary in helping people fight off infection. My mom likes to tell a story. She has one of these little bubble diffusers. I'm going to pull mine up here so you guys can see it. It's basically a little bubble diffuser that you screw the bottle in. I have Supermint in mine right now. And it's motion activated. So when somebody walks by it, it just spurts a little bit of oil into the air. These are fantastic because I don't have to carry around water. They're battery powered. I can take them anywhere like my office and things of that nature. And she put On Guard in hers. Well, my dad got COVID. My grandparents got COVID. They all live in the same house, by the way. They did that instead of a nursing home. And she was over there with her On Guard, just like, everybody stay away. She's turning into like Sheldon with Lysol. But she had On Guard. She never got COVID. It helped boost her immune system that she was able to fight what they were all putting off. It was, I'm not sitting here, I'm not saying On Guard cures COVID. I'm saying On Guard boosts your immune system so your body can help fight infection. That's what On Guard's for. Then you have frankincense. And I'm killing my time here, but frankincense is the king of oils, and it is amazing for skin blemishes. It is absolutely incredible for regenerating healthy cells in your body. Absolutely amazing. So talk about side effects real quick. I said there's no side effects. And guess what? There's no side effects, right? Actually, there is some side effects. I used Serenity and it had the side effect that my kids got better sleep at night and I got more time with my wife. On Guard is amazing. Yes. We used On Guard and the side effect was I had better health and better immunity. You get my point, right? With dōTERRA's products, you will have no side effects. And then I've been asked a lot, do these things counteract with other medications that I'm taking? The answer is no. These are naturally occurring bioavailable things. These are not other synthetics that are going to mess up other synthetic pharmaceutical company stuff. So I get that asked a lot. And Dr. Osclethorpe and Dr. Riggs also, I checked with them and they did a lot of research on this and they don't. However, there is a risk. Now, I told you, go out and try other essential oil companies. I encourage you to. Go get it for yourself. I did. However, we ran into problems. Some of those essential oil companies get it from a broker and they contain synthetics. And they may say 100% pure on the bottle because that's the FDA doesn't regulate it, but it's really not. And so you'll have things like your kid breaks out in a rash. And when I do this class in person, this is actually where I have my 4-year-old come up and I actually start putting oils on her right in front of everybody to show them that I can trust this product. I can trust this company and I can trust every bottle to bottle and they're not going to cause things like you see in this picture because they're pure and they're potent. The ones from dōTERRA. There is no synthetics. There is no fillers. There's no dilution. And you can smell it. When you open a bottle, you're like, holy cow, this is strong. This is potent. It's been used in healthcare before. It has ideal chemistry and consistency because they farm from where stuff naturally grows. There's some essential oil companies that have big old greenhouses and they grow everything in a greenhouse. But when you grow or get essential oil from a plant that's naturally occurring, like spearmint in Nepal, sandalwood in Hawaii, frankincense in Somaliland, when you get it from where it naturally occurs, it's going to build deeper and better roots, and that area is going to help the plant flourish, which is going to produce stronger and more potent oils. All right, medicine cabinet basics. Live Guide, page 19. I apologize, I haven't been reading what page we're on. If you're following along in the Live Guide, I've got the little cues at the bottom of my page here. This is amazing. This is where I take a minute. Lavender, we talked about, helps with sleep and relaxing things. My daughter, when she was like 2, got stuck in a chair. How she got stuck in a chair, God only knows. I have no idea what happened, but she got stuck. She was actually like legit stuck, like call the fire department kind of stuck. Well, she was flexing and flinching and my wife's like, I can't get you out. So she took lavender and she put it on my daughter's back, not because to help her get unstuck from the chair, but to help her calm down until the fire department showed up and could help her get her out. Well, once she calmed down, she slipped right out of the chair, which I thought was hilarious because it was just, you just needed to calm down so you could get out of the chair. But it was absolutely amazing. She put it on her back. I got stuck in a chair at 5. Seems like everybody does this. I didn't get stuck in a chair, but I did split my head open with one. So there's that. Lemon was the oil for me. I carry this cool little bag right here, right? I got all my little sample oils. They come in little sample things so that I can take them on the plane. I was to say in my purse. For those of you who have purses in your purse, I don't have a purse, but I carry them when I travel with my work and stuff like that. And lemon was literally the oil that changed my whole opinion on doTERRA in this company. Real short story if I can. My mom came over for Thanksgiving dinner, only like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. I can't think. Yeah, 3 years ago. We moved in 2020, and she made like sweet yams with marshmallows and so good for the soul, bad for your heart, right? But I was like, hey, I got assist, I'm good. But anyway, well, when she pulled it out of the oven, she spilt it, and I'm talking like not a little spill. It was like splash everywhere. No, it's a 350-degree oven, all over the glass. I mean, it was everywhere. So of course, we had to let the oven cool down. We had to, I got out my oven cleaner, and if anyone's ever used an oven cleaner, it is absolutely terrible. Like, they smell awful. They're really, really rough. But what happens with that oven cleaner, right, is it's not safe around the kids. You got to use all that. And so my wife comes to me. She's like, I got an oil for that. I was like, really? You got an oil for this? And this was still in my very skeptical age. And she's like, yeah, I got an oil for that. I was like, you know what? I hate an oven cleaner. Why don't we use your oil? When your oils fail, I will use my oven cleaner. That's literally what I told her. So she got out a Bode dish soap, which is one of the products. She got out lemon, and she got out baking soda. She put 20 drops of lemon. By the way, that's a ridiculous amount of lemon. So I don't recommend putting that in like a drink. 1 drop of peppermint has about the same amount of peppermint as 20 cups of peppermint tea. But anyway, we made it into like a Play-Doh consistency, plastered it inside the oven. I actually have a video of this. I made a video of it. I did it again once. And it got it all plastered inside. She's like, okay, you're supposed to let it sit for a little bit. I looked at her, and with my cocky attitude, I went, if your essential oils are going to work, they're going to work right now. And I took paper towel, and I wiped the glass off in frustration. And it wiped clean. I was shocked. I was like, what? Looking at the bear, like, no way that worked. I went through about half a roll of paper towel, pulling all that stuff out of there, but it wiped clean with minimal to no scrubbing of any kind. And it looked new and smelled amazing. I was like, there's something to this stuff. Talking about DigestZen, that's helped me and my family with our car sickness, or if you get, seasick, that kind of thing. Peppermint's been absolutely amazing to help with focus and headaches. Don't get it in your eyes, though. And then Breathe. For those that struggle with seasonal allergies, asthma, and stuff of that nature, it's not a replacement for an inhaler. However, my mom has really, really bad allergies, and she takes Breathe now on a regular basis. She hasn't had to use her emergency inhaler for 2 years, which has been absolutely incredible. So, are these affordable? How does this work? Well, we got a little chart here. Elsie had a little ear infection. We used tea tree and lavender, just a couple of drops right behind her ear, not in her ear, by the way, behind her ear, rubbed it in. The lavender helped her relax. The tea tree helped fight the infection. And we were able to basically treat her over the course of about 2-3 days before it went completely away for about $5. Because these oils, there's about 250 drops in a 15 mil. I only need 1 or 2 at a time when I use it for whatever I'm doing, because it's so powerful and so potent. And so I'm able to have a medicine cabinet that literally looks like a doTERRA essential oils cabinet now, because I'm able to use what I need, and it cost effectively wise is way cheaper. Had we gone to the ER, I mean, you're talking $50 minimum copay. Real quick, I love to throw this in there so people aren't just saying, oh, you're just talking up your oils. No, I'm not. They are that cool. The Roseman University did a study with a bunch of essential oils. They found that doTERRA essential oils were therapeutically relevant in cell growth, rejuvenation, metabolic health, and a healthy inflammatory response. They found that other companies had minimal effects and contained contaminants. And there was just a revolutionary difference. And you can pull it up, just Google it, and you can pull that research up there if you want to see it. So that Abode hand soap, this is where we're talking about home care. Reducing toxicity, this is where we're at. And if you're talking about the live pyramid, right? Reducing toxicity. I had Lysol, bleach, Comment. I had these harsh chemicals in my home, oven cleaner. I don't have any of that in my home now. What I have is this. They took essential oils with their potency, and they actually designed an On Guard cleaner and an Abode cleaner. I actually have both. I love them. The Abode ones are fantastic, though. Like, these ones I use when I do deep cleaning for sure. These are not for internal use, right? These are for cleaning. I do not recommend these for, I wouldn't put it in a diffuser. I mean, you can, but this is more for cleaning. But the dish soap, the surface spray, the hand lotion, the hand wash, dishwasher pods, dishwasher soap, laundry pods, They carry all of that good stuff. So what I used was this dish soap, what you see kind of here in the middle for a bode, baking soda, and lemon. That's it. That was all we used, and it cleaned the oven. It's revolutionary. I'll send you a video actually, and I'll show you the thing that we did. Talking about natural self-care as well. I didn't know this, but like aluminum in my deodorant was totally causing problems. And they found that leads to actually causing cancer in lymphatic nodes. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want aluminum in deodorant, but it's in like everything. I loved my Head and Shoulders. That's what I used. And it was drying out my head sometimes and things of that nature. I started looking up what's in it. Oh my gosh, it's so bad for you. I was like, I'm putting this on my skin. This is a terrible idea. We started using doTERRA's natural products, like the shampoo and the conditioner bars. By the way, they're amazing. Oh my gosh. My wife's hair goes down to the back of her calf. That's how long it is. She uses these. She gets out of the shower. I can stick my fingers in her hair and trace my hand all the way to the bottom. Like no tangling. I mean, this is amazing. Root to tip serum is another one. My daughter has really curly hair. That helps take out those curls, and it's not introducing some bad chemical that's in mousse or things of other nature. You have things like Yarrow Palm. You have a whole spa line, and I could go into crazy detail. Page 15 of your Live Guide, right? There's a whole bunch of products there that are absolutely amazing. All right, and this is where we come back to it. Page 7, the one that I skipped, we'll wrap up here. This one is amazing. With movement metabolism, Deep Blue, that's what we use on my knee. The Deep Blue polyphenols are like a natural version of ibuprofen. If you want to take them internally, you totally can. The Deep Blue Rub is like a natural version of Icy Hot. That's what I use today when I get soreness in my muscles and things of that nature. Turmeric helps fight inflammation in my body. That Mito 2 Max I talked about, I take that in the morning and Supermint. I can actually go without coffee now. Shocking from a coffee addict that used to be 2 pots a day and 64 ounces of Pepsi. I haven't had soda in actually November 4th. Yeah. So officially 3 years. I have not had Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or Coke or any of these things. I used to have a Pepsi a day. It's absolutely crazy. The revolutionary change that it's given me. And then you have Copaiba. Now, I'd love to spend 25 minutes to 30 minutes talking about this amazing oil. But instead, I was like, you know what? Let me share a video with you. Dr. Hill and Dr. Osclethorpe talk about CBD and Copaiba and how Copaiba offers way more benefits than CBD oil does. So there's a great little video there that you guys can watch and check out. Also, if you guys want, I can totally show you this slide again. So we're at the point where like, okay, when do I start? Craziness, right? It gets all over the place. Well, there's 3 ways you can buy oils. 1, you can pay retail, where you go in and you pay the retail cost. So if you're going to buy like the MetaPower Collagen, you're going to pay over $100, right? That's what it's going to be. But wholesale is where you sign up for a wholesale membership. Now, a wholesale membership used to cost a $35 enrollment fee unless you bought over 100 PV worth of products. Well, that fee completely waived. I actually took it out of my slide. I one-lined it. That is completely gone. You can buy wholesale today. You can buy 1 oil at wholesale price today and get a free account for the whole year. Absolutely whole year. And there's one more way that you can do it. It's called below wholesale. When you enroll, if you buy a kit of oils, they discount it even more. And then I can show you how you can get supplements, even lower discounts. So we'll go to that in a minute. So you're like, okay, give me the details. I love this slide. This slide's awesome. The squirrel's like, give me all the details. So I will help you. I will totally set you up for success here in just a minute. But let me share with you their guarantee. If you aren't satisfied with a product, they will give you 100% product credit back so you can try something else up to 30 days. That means LLV comes in a 30-day supply. If you take it for 25 days and you're not satisfied, they'll give you 100% credit back or 90% back to your card. Either way, it's at little to no risk of all, or little 10%, right? But no risk to try this and give it a chance. And I guarantee it from my personal experience, every product I've tried, I've never returned. I've absolutely loved it and loved the benefits that it gave my family. So this is my little heart section where I share my heart, right? That's my slide here. It's cute. I never in my life saw myself selling essential oils. I just didn't see that happening. However, about 3 years ago, I was working for Lockheed Martin, loving my job as a cybersecurity expert. And I was working on like 27 different DoD programs. I was working at 14 people working with me that I was teaching and training, and I was gone a lot. And on a Tuesday, my son Oliver woke up early enough to see me off to work. And he goes, "Oh, hi, Dad. I'll see you Saturday." And I looked at him. I was like, "Buddy, today's Tuesday. I'll see you tonight." And he goes, "No, you're going to get home and you're going to be tired and you're going to get home late and I'll probably be in bed already. We'll play Saturday." I was like, oh, broken heart. Like, okay, daddy's looking for a new job. So I did. I got a job with Motorola, which is where I work today. At home, I work from here. This is my basement. This is where I work from. However, I'm still chained to this desk 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And because I do instant response, sometimes that's 6 or 7 days a week. I'm still, even though I'm home, I'm not mentally home. I'm physically home, but I'm still chained to this desk, still working these things. Well, when my son was born, I got 6 weeks of leave. Woohoo! Gotta love parental leave. But during that time, I helped my wife. She's the one who wanted to start this business. And I helped her get started. And we were building it, we were rocking it. And I was working every day with my wife. I was having lunch every day, breakfast every day, dinner every day with my family. And I sat there and it completely interrupted my standard of living. Total interruption. And I was like, I love this. I want more of it. I got a 6-week taste of what my life could be like working with my wife. I look forward to the day where dōTERRA actually takes over past my income, because I will quit and tell people I'm a domesticated dad and I work for my wife. I look forward to that. But here I am, just like my life was interrupted, here I am interrupting yours. And I learned that with dōTERRA, people that try these products, 66.5% of them will continue to use them even if I quit. Which means everyone that I've introduced these to that are using these products, if I quit, they're not using them because of me. They're using them because they love the product. And when you have a product that has a 66.5% retainability rate, it makes building a business really easy. All I have to do is share and bless people and set people up for success. On top of that, I learned about what dōTERRA does that's exclusive to dōTERRA. We call it the dōTERRA difference. This is what got me hooked on doing the business. For every bottle of oil that you buy is not only setting up it's not only setting up the person on the other side, but setting up the farmer. The farmer, they go out to these farms in like Somaliland, where they had these frankincense farmers, and they said, we'll come to you. They got rid of the brokers. dōTERRA doesn't use any brokers. They said, we'll go straight to the farmer and pay the farmer directly so we can get the prize plant in its prime. We'll pay them fair wages and on time. And that's great. That's a good company thing to do. But what really made a difference is they started working with these people and they said, hey, I know that you're giving us great product, but what can we give you? In Somaliland, the nearest hospital from the frankincense farms was about 100 miles. And it was completely out of the way, to the point if someone needed to have an emergency C-section, usually mom and baby didn't make it. So dōTERRA said, we're going to fix this. And they built the Somaliland the Snog Specialty Hospital in Somaliland. And in the first year that it was built, 138 mothers were given emergency C-sections, and mothers and babies survived that otherwise wouldn't have without that hospital. I want to be a part of a mission like that. dōTERRA wellness advocates, people that work this business, help pay for the wings of the hospital. They're actually sponsored after dōTERRA wellness advocates. So when you buy a bottle of frankincense, you're not only helping a farmer on the other side, you're helping a whole community have a better life. And that was revolutionary for me. So this cool little thing that I shared with you, right? Woo, right? You want to get one of these? These are awesome. I'm going to tell you how. However, before I tell you how, I'm going to turn off my recording so that the people watching the video, they have to contact me.